And we're live.
We're live.
Nice.
What's up, everybody? How's it going? We're going to bring up YouTube in a minute so I can see the whole little
That actually works. There we go.
chat section over here.
Beautiful.
Very nice, very nice. Oh, there's everybody. What's going on, everyone? Thanks for being here. I'm going to pull up our Instagram live feed right now so that way I have everything streaming. Everyone who is here with us right now, we appreciate you for joining us. The gentleman that's hanging out with us tonight is Magnum from AMC's The Walking Dead.
What's up, everyone?
How's it going? Matt, thank you for joining us tonight. We appreciate your time. You got like, I don't know, a couple, you got 3-4 hours to hang out with us?
Yeah, I blocked off like 5. But yeah, 4 good.
No, that's good. We do this for usually about 45 to an hour. So
Yeah.
if you got anything going on, just drop a little hint and we'll let you go.
I'm good.
I'm going to open up Instagram, see what everybody doing in the Instagram world. So, Matt, just introduce yourself to us. What's been the history as far as you and acting? What made you decide to get all into this?
I'll tell you what got me into it. My freshman year of high school, there was this girl in the locker next to me that I thought she was super cute. I found out she was in drama class, and so I signed up for drama class. And turns out I really liked it, and maybe I'm good at it. I don't know, but that's honestly what got me into it.
Okay.
But as far as professionally, man, I just honestly kind of stumbled into it, not thinking it would honestly ever go anywhere. But that's what happened.
And so from there, it's been auditioning and trying out.
Auditioning, man, quitting acting altogether, coming back, auditioning some more, quitting again, coming back. But yeah, man, it's a crazy ride that I've been on for a long time. But yeah, it's fun, man. I wouldn't trade it for anything.
It sounds like quite the grind.
Yes, it is.
So these auditions. So I mean, obviously, I've never been on one. Ryan's never been on one. What's like a typical audition like? Do you actually have to like go somewhere and read a script? And
Well, I mean, man, that's the way. Honestly, that's the way it used to be. But everything is such in the digital age now. Like I shoot 99% of my auditions in my basement.
Really?
I've got like lighting, camera, audio set up. The whole world has kind of gone the world of the self-tape, which has its pros and its cons. I mean, the pros are you can spend an hour taping an audition to hone it to exactly what you want. The cons are you don't have the casting director right there in front of you kind of giving you some slight direction as to what they think the director might want.
Right.
So it's got some pros and cons, man, but it really gives you freedom into like when you want to shoot your auditions and how long you want to spend with them. And so that's probably one of the plus sides to it. Is you can work your auditions around your schedule as opposed to like, oh, I got to be in Burbank at 2 p.m. tomorrow or whatever it is.
Yeah. And you live in Georgia, right?
Yeah, man, I'm in Atlanta. I'm from here originally and moved to LA for years for acting and found my way back here and stayed relatively busy, which I'm grateful for sure.
Yeah, Atlanta's definitely got it going on as far as the acting industry goes and filming and everything.
Yeah, man, all the Marvel movies shoot here. I mean, it's crazy to think about the stuff that rolls through here, man. It's really cool.
Have you even have you thought about, hey, Magnum, superhero?
No, but I used to have casting directors ask me if I was a porn actor when they would hear my name in LA.
There is that.
I was like, no, not. And yes, that is my real name. So, yeah.
Yeah, so that's because a lot of people have actor names,
From like the
Yeah.
screen guild, right?
Yeah. Like his real name could have been like Matt Papalopoulos or something, something Greek or something like that.
I was going to say, are you assuming he's Greek?
No, I'm just saying. Yeah.
What Greek vibe am I giving off here, fellas?
Are you talking about like an Adonis vibe or what?
Yes, Greek Adonis, right?
Oh, okay,
right.
all right.
There we go. Like 300 kind of thing.
It's no shock. Like I said, a lot of response we got was, "Oh my God, Magnum!" all the women were all very happy that you were going to be here.
I thought that was from Ryan.
Well, Ryan was definitely happy too.
I mean,
Okay,
I was.
okay,
I
good.
really was, especially after Sunday's episode.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, let's dive into one of the main reason why you're here, and that's The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Your character and your character development has been very unique. You know, I mean, we've seen it happen before with some people.
Very, very rare though.
Yeah, pretty rare.
Yeah.
And you've been pushed right to the forefront to where you're now like Michonne's right-hand man, pretty much. I mean, you know, you're her, or so you're a part of her security crew now.
Totally. Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah. I mean, whirlwind, right? I mean, you were a bad guy, savior, and now you're a good guy.
Yeah, it really is a crazy transition. And you know, I didn't know about it till I read the script for 906, which was the one after the time jump. But like I said, I went back 2 or 3 times to make sure I was reading it right, because it was such a drastic change. Which, you know, it's actually something I talked to Denai about, because, you know, on that scene where she first enters Alexandria and sees the new people, I mean, she deadpans DJ and asks right off the bat, like, you want to tell me what this is? So the fact that in that situation that was the person that she went to, you know, she and I even talked about, man, what must have happened in this 6-year period, which I think everybody's asking that question right now.
Right,
like,
yeah.
what in the world is it that happened in this 6-year period that makes her trust a former savior to help protect Alexandria? And, you know, the same kind of for Lindsley, who plays Laura, savior. I mean, she's on the Alexandria Council. So what is it about what's happened in the 6-year period that these two saviors have got to the position that they are in the Alexandria community? And yeah, it's super cool, man. It really is.
And that's one thing I noticed on Sunday's episode is, like, Michonne's got this, I mean, maybe understandably so, she's got this caution about her, you know, like with the new group and everything. But then you look at DJ, and she kind of shows like almost like this implicit trust in him. So it really makes you think that there's definitely more to that story that we haven't seen, and hopefully we will see it later on, that will kind of explain how you had, I think, you said two saviors, right? Who are now so tight knit with essentially one of the leaders, the leader of Alexandria.
Yeah, I mean, I think we can all relate, dude. If you were thrown into, you know, a group of, you know, however many, 7,500 people, let's say in Alexandria, and you're with that community for 6 years, and we've obviously got, you know, some information or some background that things haven't been great between the communities. So it's not like they've been out and around. It's kind of harkens back to the old days of Walking Dead. Like, each of these little communities have kind of been doing it on their own and surviving. We just haven't seen it. So, I mean, you know, imagine the tight-knit relationships that brings about, and certain people are going to rise into certain ranks, you know, based on their personality and their trust and what they end up going through with others. And yeah, I mean, that's a huge gap where we didn't see what's going on, which, you know, who knows what kind of stuff happened.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, so let's go back to where you first appear in season 8, episode 8. 808?
808, yeah, the mid-season finale. You know, I told you guys I don't think my mom even saw me in it, which is how little it was. But, yeah, it was when the Saviors were attacking Alexandria, and DJ and another Savior by the name of Norris were the ones that kind of chased Carl as he's dropping smoke bombs, and Carl goes and hides down in the sewer. And that was it, man. Like, it was a night shoot. You know, a couple takes, done, and I thought that was, well, there's my being on The Walking Dead right there. You're not even going to see me. I mean, you were shooting at night, the smoke bombs are everywhere. Yeah, and then it ended up coming back for 8-10, and then 8-14, 15, and 16 last year. So that was, and I didn't think I'd make it through 8-16, to be honest, with the all-out war, and so yeah, it was super cool to get through that and to be in this new part, man. What a cool transition with the 6 years and the stuff that's coming, man. Crazy.
And the stuff that's coming, he says. Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun. This is what I need a soundboard. I need to invest like a professional soundboard.
Yeah, we need to
you
get a
know what I
soundboard
mean?
for stuff like
Sure.
that. So, yeah, so I was able to pull up our questions, so that's good. Thank you, Renee, for responding. So I'm going to get into some viewer stuff that they want to know about. This is actually a comment from Tiffany. See, I told you this is coming.
Great.
This is a comment. It says, "My aunt and I agree that you are one of our one gorgeous survivor, and glad you made it through the episode. We were worried."
Oh, thanks, man. Hey, I was too. When I got the script for 907, and I start reading through, and I see DJ with these 5 newcomers, and Sadiq and Michonne, and we run into a herd. I was just like,
dead.
Here it is. This is where it happens. DJ,
Swoop, there it is.
If there's anybody in that group that's going down, it's DJ. So yeah, I mean, I was too, man. I was stoked to survive that. Yeah, I was pretty stoked to hit that time jump too, so I could lose the hair and the beard and not look like a homeless man anymore. Well, so that was pretty.
Well, it's funny you should say that. I don't know if you can. He can't see that, can he?
What, the chat?
Yeah.
No.
Over here.
You talking about Eric?
No. His image we put up.
Oh no. Mm-mm.
So we took an image of you when you had your beard as a savior.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
We did some. Ryan wanted to be. I don't know what's the word I want to use here.
Creative.
Yeah. No. That's not creative.
That's too complimentary.
Yeah.
Yeah. How dare I feel any form of confidence?
He just wanted to do that. He wanted to be that extra mile tonight. So he took a photo of you with the beard and everything like that, and we have it up in the corner. If you ever watch the replay, you'll see it. It's actually very cool. He did a great job.
Thank you.
He did a great job. But I was like, he doesn't have the beard anymore.
My biggest thing is that in The Walking Dead, you're living off the land. You're not bathing regularly.
How are you shaving?
But that's exactly. But see, that's my thing. Is we've interviewed people and they look nothing like their character who we just saw the week before. Right. Because there's been some kind of drastic change. Because what's only where we're at with the show, that was filmed months ago or weeks ago or what, you know what I mean? So it's been a while, and the person we're interviewing might not look specifically like their character. Yeah. So I'm doing this new thing that I just started with you, where I'm actually taking a screenshot of the person from the show of your character from the show and editing a little bit and just kind of putting it in the corner so it shows that relation of who your character is. So it shows that relation. And Chris was busting my chops about it, but I think it came out very well.
I think really
congrats.
Good. We'll send you when we're done with the show. We'll send you a screenshot when we're done, so you can check it out.
Cool. Actually, I wanted to take my beard down a little further, but the worry was that people really would not recognize DJ. Like, who's the new guy? Well, there's been we tried to keep a little bit of the facial hair there, where you can see the little gray patch and stuff, so that hopefully you could be like, okay, I remember that guy.
Well, you see, when you grow that out, you got that gray patch there, which also looks a lot like another person that we've interviewed and know very well is W.F. Bell. He's got that signature beard with the skunk stripe, he calls it, right in the middle.
He's a big dude.
He's a big guy. So actually, on the topic we were just on, as far as being the antagonist when you were, with the Saviors, and now you're becoming part of Alexandria's group. Tiffany wants to know: do you like playing the bad guy or the good guy more?
Probably the bad guy. Yeah. I don't get a lot of bad guy auditions. Once I started. I really did start growing the beard and the hair out to kind of change the auditions that I got. And they changed pretty drastically, which was fun for me. Right. I also read for The Walking Dead a couple times in season 6 and 7 with more of like the cleaned up look, and I didn't get it. So I definitely think, that was definitely a target of mine, was to get on the show. And that was one of the reasons why I went for that look, was specifically targeting the show, because I felt like the casting directors kept bringing me back in. Like I read for Gavin, which Jason Warner Smith got, and I read for Jared, which Josh Michael got. So I felt like they were looking for something for me, but that maybe my look was hindering me, so that's when I was like, whatever, man, I'm just gonna let it all go, see what happens. Yeah. And that became DJ.
Well, yeah.
Well, see, now you can laugh in their faces because both those characters are dead.
Yeah. There you go. Question from Linda. Linda's out in France.
What's up, Linda?
And she's here. She's watching.
2 o'clock in the morning.
Like 12 o'clock at night, 1 o'clock in the morning, something like that. Got a two-header for you. She wants to know how have the people of Alexandria welcomed you as far as, you're a newcomer, I guess, 6 years ago. This is going to be tough to decipher.
Oh, my God, yeah.
And then explain how your character reappears in Alexandria after Rick's death, because the last time we saw you, you were with Jed threatening Carol with a gun, and then, boom, what happened?
Right. DJ ran like a coward in the woods when everything went down is what happened. No, I don't know. There's so many. Well, first of all, I do feel like Jed was more the bad guy. I feel like DJ and a lot of the saviors, we were legitimately in for this for survival because, the Oceansiders were picking them off. We had no weapons other than, I think DJ had a knife during that time, but no firearms. So I don't really look at DJ as being so much full-blown savior there as he was in season 8. And in season 8, morality is kind of out the door when you're a bad guy on a show. Like the bad guys are doing what they think is right. According to Negan, Rick was the bad guy.
Right.
So it's all a matter of perspective. But even the scene that we did with DJ and Jed, where he grabs Carol and has the knife to her, and Rick's there and pulls the gun on him, and even to me, that scene, I feel like that DJ played it very hesitant. Like it got out of hand for him quick. Like we're here to scare Carol, to get some weapons. We didn't think Rick was going to pop up with a gun. This is not how I wanted this to go.
Yeah.
So I really feel like DJ was just in it for survival. And then once he got out of that campsite and everything went down, I think Jed referenced in 906. When did Carol kill him? 906. He said the line, ever since the sanctuary fell. Yeah, it was 906.
Yep.
Ever since the sanctuary. So, maybe DJ saw that coming a mile away and was like, man, I'm out of here. I got to get somewhere to survive, and took Laura and a couple of other saviors and just tried to find our way. And, maybe we knocked on the Hilltop door and nobody wanted us, or we knocked on Oceanside door and they definitely didn't want us. And so I think it was just a matter of survival for him. And I think that's probably how he ended up at Alexandria.
Probably, like you said. I mean, not that running is a brave thing to do, but hey, it's survival, right?
I mean, JSS, right?
Yeah, just survive somehow. A couple questions from Instagram. The Walking Dead 129 wants to know: are you told anything that has happened in the story of the 6-year time jump?
No.
Okay.
And that's kind of also like the conversation that I had with Denai is she knew about the scar, but she still had no idea where it came from in that 6-year time jump.
Right.
Now, I noticed the other night that Angela Kang referenced that there will be something that explains that coming on in 9B. So, I mean, I'll leave it at that. There was something I was super disappointed about was there was a scene involving DJ with a big series of events happenings during that 6-year time jump, and a rewrite had DJ pulled out of that scene, which I was disappointed about because it really kind of helped mend his relationship with everybody.
Right. Yeah.
Or it just showed like an event that they went through together that is something that could have pulled this community together.
So I'm completely effing up Instagram right now so bad.
I just want to say for the record, I had it fine.
I was trying to read the questions, I'm trying to...
Come on, Chris.
I know. Who is Chelsea? Is very happy to see you here.
Cool.
Chelsea has she does a lot of the similar things we do with talking to either directors or actors, whatever.
Very cool.
But she said DJ's finally getting screen time.
in all caps.
Yeah, woo!
Yeah.
She did a little Ric Flair there. She also wants to know, how has it been coming into a show that has a big fandom?
Honestly, it's a bit weird. I don't think, for me, like I didn't get into acting because I wanted fanfare. Like I enjoyed the art of acting. I enjoy storytelling and being able to put on a gun and run through the woods and act like, I'm in a zombie apocalypse. But yeah, it's been interesting, man. It's definitely come on a lot stronger for me this season. But it's strange. It's a unique thing. That's for sure. But it's fun, man. It's such a huge, amazing fan base, and the show really is like this big family. Man, it's been a really cool experience for sure.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, and soon, maybe, you never know. We might start seeing you at cons soon. You might get those invites.
Never know.
And if anybody would like to see Matt at a con, you know exactly what to do. You just have to go out there to, Twitter world or wherever you can, on Instagram, whatever. You attach his name to the con you want him to go to, and you just spread it like wildfire. You gain that attention for him.
Cool. Yeah, man, that'd be fun. I'd love to be able to come out and meet everybody.
We'll as soon as the show's over, we'll start tweeting at Walker Stalker for New Jersey might be too close.
Well, it's only like
a couple weeks away.
2 weeks away.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
We still have to get our stuff done for Jersey. Tickets.
I have tickets already.
Dude,
I bought them already.
See, I'm so behind the ball right now. I have no idea. I didn't even know you did that. You bought tickets already. I didn't know.
Oh, nice. See? Big complimentary. Ryan's doing all kinds of stuff today, man.
You know what? I'm gonna throw it to the fact that I'm very sick. I haven't gotten much sleep, and I just found out today that for like the past 2 weeks I've had bronchitis. So I'm like, oh
nice.
Yeah.
And we work together 5 days a week.
Yeah. So
I'm at the tail end of a sinus infection, so I'm right there with you, man.
Yeah, it's a miserable thing. This time of year is terrible. All right, couple of reaction questions. Linda wants to know, what was your reaction with first getting to work with Denai, and then your scene with Andrew Lincoln where he kicks you in the behind the knee?
Yeah. What was the first one? My first day with Denai?
Yeah, like your reaction to actually being able to work with her, and have you had any? I guess have you had any like fanboy moments?
It's so weird because I really don't. I think different sets and stuff that I've been on and people I've met in the past just kind of help with that. Like, you really just get in a work mindset. I'll take it back. I had one moment last season where it's the scene with Negan at the table where you think he's about to kill Simon. And Negan has like this big 3-page monologue walking around the table, and you think he's about to take Simon out right there. And this one take, Jeffrey Dean just freaking nailed. And I kind of had to fight back a grin, just like being there watching Negan be Negan for a second. That was pretty cool, but that was really the only kind of fanboy moment. I try to allow myself a split second here or there. Yeah, like that, the scene with Andy where he kicks me. I mean, that was his idea. But like, I tried to allow myself a moment of, it's me, Jed, Carol, and Rick in a scene. And, it was us outside till 3 a.m. at night shooting it. And we were all jacked up on coffees all night. And it was a lot of fun, man. So yeah, I try to give myself a moment to take in what's going on and then jump right back into work mode for sure.
Yeah, that's all. I mean, you got to keep it professional, right?
Right, totally.
The last episode was directed by Michael Cudlitz.
Yes.
Linda wants to know, how is it to, work with him, have him direct a show and everything like that, and work under him?
Michael was freaking incredible. He was seriously, that was his directorial debut. That's the first thing he's ever done. And, you would have thought he'd been doing it for 15, 20 years. I've worked with a lot of directors, and some you wonder how they even got the job to begin with. But I think what made Cutlet so good is he's an actor. So he knows in our frail sense of being actors ourselves, like he knows what we need at the right time, what kind of direction to give us. he was just, he's an actor's director, man, and he was absolutely incredible. And I thought he just killed that episode. I thought the episode ended up being great. But yeah, he was actually, I think he was shadowing like maybe 904, which was everything that when everything went down at the campsite.
Yep.
And so I had some time to talk to him then, and he said he was doing 907, and I was like, well, dang, dude, I don't know if DJ will be here by then, but I hope he is. So it was pretty cool to be around and get to work with him, man. He seriously was incredible.
I think it's always a unique experience, like just watching from like a viewer standpoint, like when you watch a TV show where you have one of the actors or like a previous actor or actress who's now directing the episodes because they see both sides of it. You know what I mean? They see behind the lens and in front of the lens, and so it gives them a unique perspective, and it gives that little quality boost to it. You know what I mean?
Totally, for sure, man. And I can only imagine it was more enhanced for, the other guys who have been on the show for a lot longer. I mean, Christian had that cool opening sequence, and obviously her and Rosita and Abraham had a history, so it had to be even cooler for those guys to see him coming back and just completely killing the job, man. I mean, he was fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, to like you said, to work under someone who's been where you are has to make everything just a lot more cohesive, I would imagine. He knows, you know what I mean? Because he knows what the actors are going through. He knows what the scene, obviously should be like or should feel like. So that would actually be beneficial, I would imagine.
Yeah, for sure. And he was just, man, he was so prepared. Like he knew, I mean, generally, like when we're shooting an episode, the director of the following episode is there. The episode before there is doing all the prep work with the DP and the first AD and getting locations nailed down. So, I mean, he was there for, not to mention when he shadowed an episode, but he was there for all of 906 while we were shooting that, prepping for 907. And you could just tell the guy put in his work. He put in his homework and knew what he wanted and just came out and freaking nailed it, man. He was good. Yeah,
no complaints here. A lot of people are calling it a filler episode. Yeah. Because it kind of, Carol and Daryl and, I don't know.
It still progressed the story though, so I mean, it really, because I mean, granted, a lot of that happened with like the scene with Rosita with the flare and everything, and her telling Aaron and Jesus about Eugene being wounded in the barn,
right,
and how she explained how the walkers were acting differently, and obviously we know what that's leading to.
Yeah.
But it progressed the story in that sense. But I feel like there was a lot of scenes that just kind of, it happened.
Yeah.
But they weren't bad. It was just, it was just like kind of like standalone scenes that didn't really fit with the whole puzzle. But I think it was still great.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it a filler episode.
No.
I would just say that this, like you said, the story did progress, and we got to see the man right here, in action.
Yep.
So, I mean...
Killed some walkers, man. Got my first walker kill.
Did you really?
Well, it's funny you say that, because...
First one on camera.
A friend of
I'm sure
ours...
DJ's killed walkers over the years, but...
A friend of ours is in the chat, and he's a creature actor.
Yes.
And you actually killed him.
Yeah.
Oh, seriously?
You did.
Yeah.
He made a comment earlier about that.
Was he the one on the ground, or like I killed another one like in the big herd when I was trying to protect the horses? Which one was he?
I want to say he was in the herd.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure once YouTube catches up with us, because there's always a delay.
Okay.
Yeah, because he was like, "Hey, awesome. That's the guy that killed me." I'm like,
awesome.
Yeah, it's fun. The chat usually has people pop in and out of it. We have some Savior guys, popping in and out. We had CJ Rhodes, Blaine
the Silent Savior.
Yeah, just a bunch of guys from basically our friends now. I mean, they pop in and out, and check out everything. They say hi and whatnot.
That's been like the coolest thing about this whole thing too, Matt. Before you said to us, thank you for having you on and everything, and really, I think the thanks should be from us to you and everybody else on the show, because not only have we gotten this like interviewee relationship, but we've also become very close friends with most people that we've interviewed, and it's been something that I wouldn't trade for the whole world. You know what I mean? It was cool, especially when we went to Atlanta and we saw everybody that we had interviewed, and they all just came up to us and hugged us and were like, "Oh my god, I'm so happy to see you here." And I'm like, "You remember us? We interviewed you like a year and a half ago." You know,
man, and that's kind of how the show is as a whole.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I mean, I know it's been worn to the ground, but all that started with Andy because that's the tone that he set on the show. I mean, he could have walked in and been the biggest douche diva #1 actor on the planet, and that would have given everybody else the permission to completely act like that.
Right.
But since he didn't act like that, and you look at him as like the #1 on the call sheet, it kind of makes you check yourself. And here 9 years later, I mean, it's a running machine of family. And that's just kind of how it is all the way around, man. It's really cool.
Yeah.
He's the 90th person to say that we've ever talked to.
And just to clarify it, our buddy said that you killed him when they got their weapons by the horses. So I'm assuming that was that one scene with the new people getting the weapons.
Yeah. So we'll let you, after the show is over, we'll tell you who it was. Just so when you guys are filming again, you can look for him, be like, hey man, who's the guy? Who's my first zombie kill?
Yeah, I mean, normally I wouldn't put him on blast like that, but he just put it on the chat, so I'm like, all right, it's kind of a cool little, hey, you killed a friend of ours.
Yeah. Man, what are the chances? That's insane.
Yeah.
The chances are pretty good. You're probably going to do it.
They're pretty high, right?
You're probably going to do it again a few more times.
Well, especially because with just due to the podcast and everything, the DeadCast, we've become friends with a couple creature actors, and it's funny because they'll message us, be like, hey, I was in that episode, that was me, and I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool.
Got a good question on Instagram from the Walking Dead 129. Wants to know your thoughts on Daryl's dog. Do you think that dog will be able to tell the difference between walkers and whisperers?
Oh, geez. My thoughts on Daryl's dog is he apparently is like the biggest new character on the show.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, the amount of stuff I've seen about Daryl's dogs, and I'm like, guys, DJ, did y'all not see DJ? But, no, man, we're going to lose out to a dog every time. Yeah, I mean, dogs have that sense, right? So he's got to be able to tell the difference.
See, now... You watched this last week's episode, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did anybody else get the feeling the whispers are the ones that rope the dog around the neck?
Absolutely.
I mean, very intelligent dog, and just like Daryl said, he never gets caught in his own traps.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm like, well, there you go. The whispers were there. They roped him up around his own neck to draw them in.
And those ropes looked knotted and stuff. Did you notice that? They were
well, they're part of his trap.
Yeah, catch, absolutely.
You know what I mean? But I mean, yeah. I don't know.
See, for me, I can totally understand the filler episode from people, but now being on, and I've watched different shows and I see a filler episode, but now kind of being on the other end, and now that we're wrapped with the season, I know, where the whole season goes. So it's more so an episode, like maybe as much didn't happen as people wanted, but what it is setting up the next 3, 4, 5 episode. So you got to take that time to kind of set the story up and let it develop. And I mean, once people see the rest of it as a whole, I think there'll be bits and pieces of this episode that you're like, dude, remember that in 907, like the dog trap or whatever. I'm not confirming anything. I'm just saying the dog trap.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. It's all a big fluid story. So it was things that happened in 907 we'll leave in 908. And I think it's a big deal from my storyline that Michonne finally relented and gave these people her weapons. I mean, she was kind of forced into a position to have to trust them.
Right.
So I think that's big for that group and for Michonne.
Now, you being a part of the security, her security, would you be her security general? Is that what we would refer to you as? Like, are you that guy?
Lieutenant, maybe? I don't know.
Oh, man.
Right?
I mean, you just skipped every rank and went right to general.
He said, screw it, I'm here.
Well, the way I look at DJ is like he's the enlisted guy in the Army. You know what I'm saying? So he's never going to be an officer, but he's going to, lead a group of saviors or lead a group of Alexandrians. He's always going to be the enlisted guy that helps the officers in their duty. So that's kind of how I've always thought of him.
All right. So now that you're the proclaimed lieutenant, nobody go out there and put that on social media,
private,
please.
Let's back it up. I'm going to say private.
Yeah. You're basically her right-hand man right now because that's what we see you as. Yeah. You're there. You're the one there. So you must be the most trusted guy that she knows of.
Right.
do you agree with her being so, strict in her ways with not giving them their weapons, or do you think do you think DJ's maybe be a little bit more lenient in this type of world and just kind of keep a closer eye on them?
I think that based on some of the events that I'm privy to over the 6-year period, he probably, again, he follows the officer. He follows, what she thinks is the best call, and I'm going to jump right on board with her. I mean, you have Michonne, who obviously, it's not like DJ is there protecting her. We all know that she can handle herself. And so, DJ and Sadiq can handle themselves, or else they wouldn't have made it, 8.5 years into the zombie apocalypse. So I think that I follow her call. Whatever she wants is what DJ does, because we know if we get into trouble, the three of us can take care of ourselves. And I don't think DJ was even thinking about handing out the weapons until Michonne called for them.
Right.
So, yeah, I think he's on board with it. I mean, she's definitely hard, and it doesn't mean he fully agrees, but he's going to do exactly what she says is best, for sure.
All right, so we're obviously going to assume that there's, the 6 years have gone by. You've been a part of the group for 6 years. This is a good question, too, from The Walking Dead 129. They want to know, do you think DJ's developed maybe a soft spot for Michonne? Better yet, do you think Michonne has developed a soft spot for DJ because of his likeness to Rick?
DJ soft spot for Michonne. I think DJ probably has a lot of respect for Michonne.
Yeah.
That's probably where I think he stands with her. I think he respects her. He follows her. I don't know if soft spot for Michonne is the right, just a healthy respect.
Okay.
Michonne, I don't know if she has soft spots for anyone right now outside of Judith and RJ.
Right.
So I don't think she's in a soft spot frame of mind, not even with her own people. And I think that's evident by the way she addressed everybody when she stepped into Alexandria and saw this brand new group of people. Mm. I mean, she was pretty hard with DJ right off the bat with that first question, pretty hard with Aaron and Judith. So I think she's kind of almost like a Rick season 4, season 5, where he's just doing whatever it takes to protect his.
Right.
So I think that's probably where she is right now.
Okay. All right. Here's a good question from Linda. She wants to know, do you think that Arat deserved to be killed by Cindy in that, yeah. She, your feelings on that? You could have been on the other end of that stick too.
I know. Man, I love Elizabeth Ludlow. I hated seeing her go. I mean, that's seriously one of the hardest things of this show is you get so close to people, and then when they have that exit, man, it sucks. I mean, you stay in touch, but it's different being on set and shooting with them and having scenes with them. Do I agree? I mean, if I was in that situation in the zombie apocalypse and somebody had taken my spouse out or a sibling, then yeah, I probably would have been in that same boat. Yeah. As it being a savior that I'm sure DJ was tight with, I don't think he fully agreed.
Right.
Yeah, and I think like we saw, Daryl and Maggie both fully agreed with her decision and had no problem with it. And I think Maggie's, we could all say it probably had a little bit to do with Negan, with her being willing to let that happen. Probably her letting off a little Negan steam.
Yeah.
So, I mean, as an outsider looking in, I agree with it. As a savior who had one of my close friends go down. I mean, early in that episode when DJ's trying to go after Daryl by picking up an axe, I mean, Arat's the one who runs in and stops him and tries to convince him not to do it before Rick breaks everything up on his horse. So I feel like DJ and Arat definitely had, a friendship, if nothing else. So yeah, man, it sucks seeing her go, but outside looking in, I somebody messes with my family, I can totally understand the decision.
Yeah. Yeah.
I respect that.
Pretty sure anybody would, respect that decision.
Yeah, for sure.
We have a favorite character question. Among the new characters, do you have a favorite between Magna, Yumiko, or maybe even the dog? That dog's going to just keep popping in, man.
Yeah. Sure, man.
By the way, the dog's name is Seven.
Oh.
So if anybody wants to know, the dog's name is Seven. So,
Dog's name is Seven. Man, I love Magna and Yumiko. I mean, I had 4 episodes with them, 6, 7, 8, 9. I guess I can say that. So I got to know all the new people really well. Yeah, right. Nobody's going to see this. Don't worry about it.
Wow.
Damn.
All right. Well, guys, have a good night.
He just said no one will ever.
I'm messing with you guys.
No, I know. We're just messing around.
You're not wrong. We'll get
at least 5 people have already watched it, so we're okay.
No, I mean, I like Magna and Yumiko both a lot. I don't know if I could choose between them. Just because I got to know Nadia and Eleanor so well.
Yeah. But
they definitely got some cool stuff coming up, man. Like anybody that's still disappointed that Rick's gone, which I think we all are. These girls in this new group can carry a lot. I mean, they've it's as actors, that's a lot on our shoulders too, to step into this role on a show that is loved by so many people, to see the main character and you're being introduced as new people, and you want to just go do your work, but at the same time you're thinking, please don't hate me. Please don't hate me because I'm working on this show and trying to continue this story without a character that everybody loves. And those girls and that whole group does a really good job of carrying it. It's some really good stuff coming up.
Yeah, look, I'm definitely on board with that. I think the whole new cast that's jumped in is amazing. To introduce a person who's deaf into this type of world, and actually be able to go out there and find an amazing actress that is really deaf.
Yeah.
Adds such a heightened element to this type of world.
The same thing with Fear the Walking Dead with the wheelchair.
Yeah.
That's the same thing.
Totally,
There's going to be those people in the zombie apocalypse, and they're going to survive. They're survivors.
I love the fact that they're bringing these elements in, because yes, Rick's gone. And I said this actually completely 100% honest today in a chat on Facebook that we were having. I was having with one of our friends, Tina, and she had mentioned something about Rick, being gone, and I said, to be perfectly honest with you, I haven't missed Rick because the storyline has been really good. For the first time in many, many seasons, the dialogue, the storyline, everything that's going on has been
matching up
really good.
Yeah.
So you notice Rick's not there, but I don't miss it.
I'll be honest, I haven't noticed it. I know he's not there.
Right.
But for me, everything is just flowing together so nicely that I don't notice his absence in that sense. You know what I mean? And it's not a disrespect towards Andy or anything like that. It's just it's a credit to you guys, the actors and actresses. It's a credit to the showrunner, Angela Kang, to the directors, to the producers, to the screenwriters. You know what I mean? They're doing such a great job, and it's all coming together. And that's why I really, really respect this season. Yeah,
100%. And the time jump does help, obviously, making it a 6-year time jump, and that kind of makes it...
It adds a mystery to it.
Yeah. I mean, will we find out that DJ has an X on his lower left side of his back?
No. I'll go ahead and answer that one for you now.
Every now and then, I try to sneak his ear.
I was a fan of the show first, and so obviously, I feel like I can still be very objective as a fan of the show and as an actor on the show. And there were definitely some lean Walking Dead years, in my opinion, where I continued watching because I'd already dedicated so much time to it. And I was, 5, 6, 7, I was a huge Rick Grimes fan.
Yeah.
So, I was in that camp years ago where I remember saying, man, if they ever kill off Rick Grimes, I am done with this show. Like, that dude is the Han Solo of the new age to me. But yeah, I think that it really has, from a fan perspective and watching it as a fan, I think it really has not skipped a beat. And I think it's what Angela's done with it is just beyond amazing. I mean, I watch it every Sunday night because my wife is still a huge fan, and I don't tell her what I do at work every day. I mean, which sucks because I, have a cool day doing something, and I come home and I literally don't tell her anything about what I do. So I watch it with her every Sunday night and get to see her genuine first reaction, which is always fun.
Yeah.
But I'm still a fan, man, and I think they've done such an amazing job of integrating this new group of people pretty seamlessly. And that happened the way that 905 ended. After Rick is gone, and you see him on the helicopter, and then all of a sudden you're just thrown into this group, and holy crap, there's Judith Grimes, and she's older and shooting a gun.
Yeah.
And I think that moment right there hooked people in for what was to come after that, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, listen, they grabbed me. I mean, and I've obviously, everyone's known what's happening. To have the show end like the way they did, though, once again, the story writing and the way that they're doing things is back to seasons 3 and 4 type action. Absolutely. 3, 4, 5.
Totally.
And it just it flows, and it gave it that wow factor that I think has been missing, obviously, for a while. But then, you see her standing there. She's got the python, and she's got a sword on her back. And, and like, here it is. This is the new beginning of, what's to come. This is the new legacy of the Grimes family. And I loved it. I loved it.
Now that begs a question. You said that you like seeing your wife's reactions towards the episodes, right? How did your wife react to 907?
She liked it. I mean, there's times where I will kind of be like, okay, fine, I'll get like a good scene today. I have dialogue with Michonne or Andy or whoever it is. So she'll have those little bits and pieces, but I definitely don't dive into any detail of what we're doing. But yeah, man, she liked it. She thought it was great. And so did a great job in it afterwards. And but yeah, man, it's fun. And man, there's some cool stuff coming up. Like if you think they've done well up to this point, we all know the Whisperers are coming, and once those guys enter in, it's just complete mayhem. Like, it's pretty freaking cool.
Yeah, I try not to go to the comic books so much or anything like that.
Because at this point we've gotten so far away from them that it's
yeah. But everyone's heard talk of this carnival that's supposed to take place.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't want to get into it, because this carnival, it's not a happy place.
Right.
So I'm just gonna leave it at that. They've been talking about this.
The comic book people know exactly where you're going, for sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, I had to confirm.
Sorry, I don't read I do read the comics, but I'm still in like the first compendium, and so I'm still trying to play catch up right now at this point.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to confirm what I thought I knew.
Yeah. It's So get ready for this carnival, because everyone's gonna be blown the freak away.
Okay,
guys, sorry to just distract from this. I put in the chat, I'll say it just again just so everybody can hear it. Chris has all the questions. He's reading them now. Okay, so if we haven't already gotten to your question yet, we have a lot of questions to get to. So he is working on it, guys. Thank you.
Yeah, I've been knocking them out. I just hasn't said it.
I don't know. I've had 3 people ask me, where's my question? Event Thomas and NCR Courier. I don't know who that is.
might have to update it. So let me back out, and I'll go back in, and I'll update it.
I told you, our lives are never easy.
We get beat up, man. We get yelled at, cursed at. They've got pitchforks and axes and like shit ready to attack us.
Chill, everyone, chill.
You have young children, right? You have a son and 2 daughters, 1 daughter?
I got 1 daughter, 1 boy.
1 daughter, 1 boy. Now, do they know about the show? Do they see you on it? Do they watch?
They know about it. They've never seen an episode before. But yeah, they know about it, and they tell their friends about it because they think it'll be impactful to tell them that Dad's on Walking Dead, even though they've never seen it before. But yeah, I mean, they've just grown up with me doing this, auditioning and being on different shows or movies, so it's normal to them. I got a great story that if I can get this up.
There you go.
So I mentioned earlier how, I shoot 99% of my auditions in my basement. And I have an actor friend of mine that'll come over and we'll do the scenes together. But if he can't do it, I'll just get my wife to come down and read the scene with me. And when my daughter was in preschool, maybe about 4.5, and our son was an infant, but I think he was asleep, like in his little carrier or something. We said, hey, we have to go to the basement for Daddy to shoot an audition. Will you watch your brother? Mm-hmm. End of story. So a couple of weeks later, we are at her preschool having a conference with the teacher, and she has a concern she wants to bring up. And she said, your daughter told me that she babysat her little brother while Mommy and Daddy went in the basement and videoed each other. So I just wanted to see what this was about. So they have a little bit better grasp of what's going on now, but yeah, kids explaining things don't always come across how they really are. But yeah,
isn't it like the series of YouTube videos that someone did where it's like kids explaining movies or something?
Oh yeah, it's crazy.
Oh my god, it's
funny. So yeah, I got a question from. Let me see. It was from Courier at Crazy. Is this the one? Crazy NCR
Probably
Courier.
NCR Courier. Yeah.
Do we know what DJ's real name is or background? Have you developed one?
Donald J.
Donald J.
Just kidding. It's not Donald J. That's our president. That was a joke.
I was going to say Dwayne Johnson, but
yeah. No, we don't. And I've tossed that around. I mean, I've tossed his backstory around in my head as to what I think about DJ and where he's from. And I've got 2 arm tattoos, which have played on the show. So that obviously is going to play into a little bit of who DJ is. And there was actually a line cut from this last week's episode, which kind of came, it was kind of a joke between all of us in the cast, is when Sadiq is trying to convince Michonne to go to the Hilltop with him, he says, please come with us. All DJ talks about is horses. Which I thought, really? That's DJ's backstory? Like, all he talks about is horses? So that became a good joke between us, but it also helped me kind of, create more of what I thought DJ was. Did he like horses before this? Or since that's all we have, is he just a big horse fan now? Did he grow into it? Was he a car guy, but now he don't have cars, so he likes horses? So I've rattled all that around, man. So I'll go with Don Johnson is what I think DJ stands for, right? That's
Don Johnson. So throwing it back to the 80s Miami Vice days.
Yeah.
All right. Don Johnson, once again.
I liked it.
I like it. Very nice.
You could be Dwayne Johnson's cousin.
Yeah, Don.
Yeah, it's like
Dwayne's cousin, Don.
His non-Samoan cousin,
Non-Samoan. Non-Greek, too. He's not Greek either. So
yeah, we've already established that.
Not Greek. Yeah.
Not Greek.
At the end of the show, we're just gonna play a guessing game of what heritages you have. We're just start naming every country out there.
Matt Magnum. See now, and that is your real last name.
Yeah. See,
I have nothing to go on. With
I mean, maybe possibly British because of Matthew. Isn't that an English name?
Well, it's actually Scottish, Irish, UK descent. Yeah. Like there's no real.
He's your traditional mutt.
Do I?
You're a traditional. You're a mix.
Yeah.
He just called you Daryl's dog, basically.
Oh no. Daryl's dog is a
I'll take that, man. Daryl's dog's getting all kinds of love. I'll be Daryl's dog for a day.
There you go.
No. You listen. You're doing great, man. We love it.
Even Linda said Dog Junior.
Dog Junior. Oh no. Where was I? I lost my spot.
Sheila said you look like Magnum PI.
Oh, there you go. A young Magnum PI.
Yeah,
it works.
Get this Tom Selleck mustache going.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ooh, the silk mustache.
So,
nice.
I mean, you've mentioned being cast for some things that aren't appropriate, or that you would want to get cast for, right? I mean, so how does that even happen? Is that a phone call?
Which part? Being cast for what?
Just like, you had mentioned like porn before or something like that. Is that just like...
Oh, no, I never did it.
People accused him of being a porn star.
Accused
Let me get right in here and clear that up. I've never done any. No, I would have just LA casting directors look at my name and just be like, that's not your real name. Like, and basically just ask me if that was my porn name or my stage name. Look, I've never done names.
I think your name is amazing. I wish my last name was something cool.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a cool ass name to have. Just saying.
Like Christopher Glock or something.
Yeah, Glock. Yeah, Glockenspiel. Something like that.
Christopher Winchester,
Yeah, something cool. I don't got no cool name like that. I'm checking Instagram real quick. What do we got? Will he be the one to fall in to the feud relationship with the Whisperers? I gotta backtrack here. Sorry, guys, on Instagram. I'm just going through all the questions now. You had mentioned there's going to be some interesting things up ahead. Is there dark times ahead? Would you say that there's dark times ahead?
Yeah, for sure. If anybody knows anything of the comics, that there's definitely some dark times ahead. I mean, I wouldn't correlate it to, the dark Rick Negan days, which I know everybody felt like went on forever, where you just see Rick Grimes as like this defeated character.
Right.
I wouldn't correlate it to that, but yes, there are definitely some dark, shocking times ahead for the mid-season finale and then for 9B, which is coming next year for sure.
So, and I mean, speaking of Negan, your old boss. I mean, would you say that as of right now, or even permanently, you're no longer Negan? You are your own person. You don't represent him anymore.
Yeah, I could say that. I don't represent Negan anymore. I don't think Negan represents Negan anymore. Yeah. I think we saw, when Maggie approached him, that he's not the Negan that we all knew.
Right.
So if he changed for the worse during that first year and a half time jump, I mean, we saw, with him talking to Judith, he's definitely not the shell of a person of who he was. He's definitely kind of come to terms with where he is and who he is.
Right.
But I think DJ is loyal, and I think he's loyal to Michonne and Alexandria at this point.
Yeah. So, and I mean, I would imagine, just like for people, I mean, and a lot of people know, but just like in the comic, Negan escapes, he gets out of jail.
Right.
And I'm kind of leaning towards the fact that Judith lets him go.
Yeah.
I really do.
And in a weird way, I really think that Negan is going to be on his best behavior.
Yeah, well, no, I believe he's going to come and actually help out, like he does in another reference to The Walking Dead, against the Whisperers.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, I think like if you take it all the way back to when Maggie broke into Alexandria, and had this mindset of I'm going to kill Negan.
Yeah.
And she gets in there and she goes, "Go back in your cell." And he's like, "What?" And she's like, "Go back into your cell." She goes, "I came here to kill the Negan that killed Glenn and Abraham."
Yeah.
But I can already see that the Negan that killed them is already dead.
Yeah. Yep.
And this is kind of like your repentance for this whole situation. And I think that whole scene is very specific because it's establishing that the Negan that we knew is dead.
Yeah.
And that this new Negan is going to have this new kind of like redemption story going on.
Right.
And for me, I think my favorite part of that scene is when she first walks in and he is trying to be the old Negan.
Yeah.
And you realize he's trying to convince her or piss her off enough that she does kill him, and I think that scene was so good.
Yeah.
Especially because she knew something was up from the get-go, and when she finally breaks him and sees who he is, yeah, the old Negan is dead. I think we can all agree on that for sure.
Yeah. So it's all right. So what we learned from that is that DJ is not gonna. He's not Negan anymore. He's with the good guys.
Yeah.
DJ's with the good guys, and we're all saying and agreeing that that's who Negan's pretty much gonna be soon too.
Yeah, you know? I don't think Negan will be Negan anymore.
No, I think. Well,
I mean, I think he'll. I think he'll obviously be Negan, but I'm saying I don't think he'll be that old mindset of Negan.
Right, he'll be a newer Negan, but still the same badass. I'm gonna say he'll be a new and improved Negan, but
just Negan with empathy.
Yeah, but with the still the same, badassery. Like, maybe we'll see Lucille again too. You never know.
Never know.
Yvette typed her question.
Oh, Yvette typed her question.
And you too.
All right, hold on. I'm going to read this question for Yvette.
Do you want me to read it?
Yeah.
Okay, I have my glasses on. Yvette wants to know, are you loving the Walking Dead fan base and how much they've embraced you? And have you experienced anything like it before?
Any what?
Anything like it before?
No, I've not experienced anything like it before. And no, it's amazing. Like, it really is. And I know I'm not the first person to step into this world and be impressed by it. Kind of like with people describing Andy, you hear it over and over, and it's the same with the fan base. I mean, the fan base is massive, widespreading. I try to interact with everybody as much as I can. Social media, I'm growing more and more to detest social media, not because of the fan base, but just because of the crap that goes on it. So I don't necessarily get on it as much, but I try to interact with people. And from what I've gathered is it's a tight-knit community. Like, a lot of you guys know each other. And I think that helps only progress the show and people as they come in on the show. And it really is. I was greatly underestimating it when I got onto the show, for sure. And it's cool, man. It's just such a cool experience to be a part of, and to hear people they love. Seeing DJ transition to a good guy, or whatever the feedback is. It's been really freaking cool.
Yeah, and once again, like we said earlier, anybody who wants to meet Matt, and you guys are going to be going to a con, or there's a local con or something near you, and you want to meet Matt, you guys know exactly what to do. You take his Twitter handle, his Instagram handle, whatever, and you IG it, you Facebook it, you Twitter it, you do everything with his handle attached to it. Matt, on Twitter, you are at Matt Magnum 2.
That's it. Same on Instagram,
Same on Instagram. It's at Matt Magnum number 2.
MANGUM.
Magnum PI. No, don't put the PI in. But yeah, Matt Magnum number 2. That's his handle on Twitter, IG, and that's it, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, if you guys want to meet this guy and you want to start getting attention for him with all these cons, that's exactly what you do. And then, boom. Hopefully he gets a phone call and he's hanging out.
Boom.
Boom.
Boom. Drop.
Boom.
Mic drop.
Just drop it right there. Boom.
Drop it.
Got a question from Linda. I'm going to have a really hard time pronouncing this guy's name, but it's the guy who played Jed. What's his real name in real life?
Reese.
Reese? Is that how you pronounce that? Reese?
Yeah.
Cairo?
Reese Corio.
Okay. She wants to know, how was it working with him, on scene, on set and everything like that?
Reese was great, man. I think his biggest thing is entourage. And I wasn't an entourage guy. I never saw it, so I never saw him from that. So I kind of met him. I mean, I'd seen him in other things, but not enough to where I even knew his name. But not a knock on you, Reese. But no, Reese was great, man. Like, I'm trying to remember our first scene. I think our first scene was 9:03 when we're all walking out, leaving the camp, and Rick sees, the masked group of saviors walk out and smash a tomato. I think that was the first scene I did with Reese. And, just like everybody, like you kind of just fit right into the fold. And that's because once you get there as an actor, you kind of see how things are laid out by Andy and by Norman and even JDM at this point, and you just kind of follow suit. But Reese was great, man. I thought he was a really good fit into the universe. I think he's a little bit of the new Jared. I think people love to hate Jed. And I like Justin too. Zach McGowan. I thought Zach was a great addition, man, and I thought he was going to be around for a while. So to see him go out super quick was shocking. But yeah, those two guys were great. I thought they're great actors. They're great people to hate for the roles that they were in. But yeah, they were both a lot of fun. Really cool working with those guys.
Very cool. That's very cool. It's
yeah. Oh, no, I was gonna. Well, Heather had a question. So.
Oh, go ahead.
Let's see. Heather says, before you were cast, which character on The Walking Dead did you most identify with?
Oh man, I mean, I guess I got to go Rick Grimes, right? I mean, I loved me some Rick Grimes. I may have had a man crush on Rick Grimes. I don't know. Probably Rick from the get-go, is having a family myself. Like the whole show begins with him chasing his family down. Yeah. And I think immediately, I'm not a horror film type of guy. I was never a big zombie film guy, but when the buzz started about this show, I remember watching the first 2 episodes and just being in hook, line, and sinker. And I think that's just because the character of Rick and is set up so well, and his introduction to this world is set up so well. And yeah, there was an immediate identification with him pursuing his family, because I think we all watch film and TV and put ourselves in certain characters' situations. So for me, he was the first person that I found myself putting in his shoes. So yeah, definitely the OG Rick Grimes for sure.
Yeah. Very nice. I mean, I think you're right, because if let's say you're at work, right, and zombie apocalypse breaks out, we work in a hospital. We're gonna be one of the first people that sees it. You know what I mean? And what's the first thing we're gonna want to do? Go after our family. Make sure they're okay. Get them with us. That's gonna be one of the top priorities for us.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say start killing everything I can, but
just start taking out your coworkers. Just because
I'm gonna have to.
They might become saviors. You might want to get them before they get you.
That reminds me.
There's a constant joke that he's Shane and I'm Otis.
Yeah. That reminds me. I have a very nice mug that I have for you at my house.
Oh, great!
That I've been meaning to give to you, and it says that, and on it says, "When the zombie apocalypse comes, I'm tripping you."
I thought it'd be something like, "Will you be my Otis?" or something that. Something stupid. I don't know.
It says I'm tripping you.
My wife and I found ourselves like in a TV show hole where nothing was really on, and when we cranked back up, I think we got through the first 2 seasons of Walking Dead. I mean, we hadn't seen them since they aired. And man, what a freaking horrible Shane scene that is, of him just taking Otis out. Poor Otis.
I like going back to see how young everybody looks and just like where it all started. You know what I mean? And just hey dumbass. Like Glenn talking to Rick in the tank.
Yeah. See, I was very surprised that they didn't have Glenn in Rick's final episode.
Yeah, me too.
I was very surprised by that. I mean, I know that there's, I know that Steven's had a lot of stuff going on, and like, I mean, positive things it looked like from social media and stuff. But I was very surprised because I felt like he was the one, besides Herschel and Shane, besides them, Glenn's death was probably the one that affected him the most. Because I'm sorry, but even though Lori's affected him for most of season 4,
three, four, yeah.
Even though it affected him, he kind of got over it after a while. You know what I mean? He's like, all right, well, it happened. But even after, he always talked about Glenn dying. He's like, yeah, well, when Negan killed Glenn, he kept coming back to it. It seemed like it stuck with him. So I thought Glenn would have been in that episode, but he wasn't.
Yeah, well, can only do so much.
Yeah, fair enough.
Somebody wants to know, The Walking Dead 129 wants to know, does the helicopter still have a part to play in the story? I'm going to say definitely yes. I just don't know when.
Just from a viewer perspective.
But from a viewer perspective, I'm going to say 100% the helicopter has been around since the beginning of the show.
Yeah, day one. Yeah.
So I don't think it's going anywhere. There's some questions out there, too. It's like Gabriel obviously knows about the helicopter.
Right.
Negan obviously knows about the helicopter. How come no one's talking about the helicopter that these two guys have seen? Are they not saying anything for a reason? Do you think it's like
more than they're letting on?
Yeah, it's like, do you think they're just not saying anything because they don't want to spur?
That's a really good Angela Kang question right there.
Yeah, I want to talk to Angela Kang.
Wank.
Yeah, who's text Angela real quick.
Thanks.
Who knows, man? That could have been. 6 years. There could have been all kinds of conversations about it.
Yeah, exactly.
They've all been looking up at the sky every night for 6 years, and nobody has seen this freaking helicopter come back.
Right.
For all we know.
And they're probably like, well, you were hit in the head. You know what I mean? So maybe
you're seeing stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is very true. 6 years have gone by, and who knows what has been talked about at the council meetings or whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
And maybe they are looking up for this thing, waiting for it to appear again.
We also did just see Father Gabriel try to expand their range with the radio.
Yeah.
I think he made the comment like, we have no idea what else is out there, or there could be something else out there.
Right.
So, I think you would have to think that was in direct correlation, that he knows there is something more out there. We just can't reach far enough. So we need to reach further out.
Right.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we got a glimpse into that relationship that I don't think anybody saw coming. It's like, whoa, wait, what just happened? Yeah. Father's got game. Father G has got game.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we'll close off with a couple more. We'll let you go. As far as Hilltop goes, we saw that there was a vote for Hilltop for the leader and that Jesus won because no one else ran against him.
Right.
But Linda's curious, and here, this is our solid opinion, and also my assumption. So I'm saying that in the mid-season finale, my opinion is that Jesus will no longer be on the show anymore. He's going to get killed off,
and Tara
will take over Hilltop. That's just based on what I've been seeing on TV and like just the way I see things in the direction they're going. Who would you like to see as the leader of Hilltop if Jesus is no longer there? Would you say
as a viewer, not as an actor on the show?
As a viewer, can we bring Gregory back? We can't, can we?
There we go. We got to have a Walker Gregory as the leader of Hilltop.
Right? Just Walker Gregory delegating from his office. Yeah, that'd be.
He'd probably do a better job. Oh.
Burn.
We love you, Xander. We love you. You know it.
Man, Xander's great, man. I don't know, man. I guess Tara.
Yeah.
We'll see a little bit more of who's at Hilltop this week. As the convoy arrives.
I know a lot of people leaning towards Enid, because Enid's taken on like the nurse surgical unit type thing.
That's you'd have your hands full to try to do that, and it seemed like with the conversation with Tara and Jesus that they've got like a pretty well functioning machine going there. So you would think it'd be hard to be a nurse and run that, but it also looks like Tara is kind of running it.
Yeah, it does.
Already, even though Jesus is the elected leader, so she seems to be kind of doing the grunt work and the boots on the ground, so to say, for him. So maybe, I don't know, maybe Tara, maybe that would be a natural transition, or maybe Jesus.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah, it's a good one. I like I said, I'm leaning towards Tara for the same reason why, Enid being the lead and the, lead doctor, lead whatever, she might be, or whatever you want to consider her, nurse, doctor, whatever. So that, and plus, like you said, you know, we've seen Tara walking around, delegating, talking to people, getting different, you know, things done, and talking to everybody in the community, bringing Jesus all the information, and him just kind of being like, yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm going to go out and wrestle with Ross in the woods.
Or maybe Jesus will relinquish the power to Tara.
Maybe.
Because he understands that she's the one doing all the real work. And he's you know, I think even back in the Maggie Gregory days, Jesus expressed that he wasn't interested in running Hilltop.
Right. Yeah.
He's always done what's best for Hilltop.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So.
Tiffany wants to know, is your dog staying out of the garbage?
This must have been was this
Yes.
an Instagram post or something you put up?
Yeah, Twitter, maybe Instagram. Yeah. Yes, thank God. Yes.
Okay.
It was too nasty of a story to repeat on here. I mean, you can search it out if you want to, but yeah, she's staying out of the garbage.
Yeah. For those of you who don't follow Matt on Instagram or Twitter or whatever, his Instagram is great. He posts a lot of good fun stuff, a lot of family stuff. I know you guys were at Disney, right? Was it not too long ago? And
yes,
some really
Disney, yep.
Yeah, some really good roller coaster stuff there with your son. You know, stuff like that. Good stuff. And
cool.
And you're into fitness, right? I mean,
yeah.
I hope that's not genetics, because if it is, I'm fudged.
No, man, it's. I mean, some genetics, but a lot of freaking hard work for sure. But yeah.
I mean, and you know, he's fit in the zombie apocalypse. He's doing the prison workouts.
A lot of prison workout, a lot of plyometrics.
Yep. See, I knew what the prison
cardio.
workout.
Got to keep up your cardio in the zombie apocalypse. Isn't that like the number one rule?
Number one rule, cardio. Zombieland.
Yep.
I love it.
Yep.
So excited for Zombieland 2.
Zombieland 2. I mean, come on.
Original cast and everything.
Right.
Super excited.
Minus Bill Murray.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you kill Bill Murray? All right, everybody. Well, we appreciate you being here. Thank you for hanging out with us. Matt, thanks for hanging out with us. Don't go anywhere. We're going to shut down everything here, and we only need you for like a couple more minutes after the show to wrap things up.
Cool. Awesome.
We want to wish everybody a very, very happy and blessed Thanksgiving coming up. We hope all your families, everybody get to have a very, very happy Thanksgiving. Stay healthy, stay safe, and make sure somebody's always watching your six. You never know when you're going to get that zombie from the back.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? All right, everybody. Peace out. We love you. Thank you for being here.
Later, guys.
Good night, everybody on Instagram. Go ahead, Matt.
Okay, thanks, everybody. Thanks for coming out, listening. Man, I appreciate you guys just being so encouraging on social media, and everybody have a good Thanksgiving. Thank you.
Later.